Welcome to the yoga method. Our practice today is a dynamic power flow with lots of modifications so that everyone can feel successful and safe. But as always, we begin with ourselves in standing. And I'd like for you to turn your mat so the long edge of the mat is facing me. We'll just move back and forth across our mats together. And once you've done that, just come into a good postural standing position with your ear over your shoulder over your hip over your knee stacking over your ankle. Feel the grip of the feet. And as we grip the feet, there's the lift of the arch, and we feel this beautiful ripple effect as all of the stabilizers come alive, working in unison, working synergistically. And with that beautiful posture established, we close our eyes. And we begin to drop into the awareness of our bodies by cultivating connection to our Ujjayi breath, if that is part of your practice. So Ujjayi breathing is just breathing with sound by gently constricting the back of the throat. And the sound becomes the rhythm that we move to. It becomes the barometer of our practice. And it is the avenue for calming and steadying the mind. In the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, we discover that the primary practice is to calm the fluctuations of the mind. So we move the body in order to harness and calm the mind. Yoga Chitta Vritti Naroda. Taking one more breath with your eyes closed, aligning mind, body, and breath. Before opening your eyes, and let's begin just facing each other, practicing our arm pattern for our practice. So as we take a breath in, I'd love for you just to open through the arms, press your palms away. And on the exhalation, roll your palms to ceiling and really expand across the heart. We'll keep that baby back bend shape as the hands come high before drawing the arms back down to the heart center, please. Just take one more of those. So pressing the hands wide, drawing the fingertips back. On the exhalation, create as much expansion across the heart and a little baby back bend as you can before taking the hands high on the inhalation and releasing hands down to the heart. So step to the right end of the mat, holding that pattern in mind. Big toes touching, feet just slightly separated through the heels, finding our posture and our connection to Mula Bandha pelvic floor and the abdominals as well. Ready? Breathe in, taking the hands wide, pressing the barriers away. On our inhalation, we roll the heart open, expansion across the heart, keeping the back bend as we take the hands high on our in-breath. And on this first forward fold and every forward fold to follow, bend your knees as much as you need. So you might find that the hands are resting on the knees or the shins, and we can bend the knees even more to access the floor. Let's take a moment here just to release through the head, through the shoulders, and inviting a little bit more length into our hamstrings, as maybe this is our very first forward fold of the day. If it feels good, just create a little sway through the pelvis, moving in a way that honors how your body's feeling and tuning in more fully into that rhythm of your breath, the rhythm of you. Please find your stillness. Take a moment to move just a little tiny bit deeper if the body is ready. And on our next inhalation, either hands to shins or fingertips to floor as we come into that flat back extension. We bend the knees, we ground the hands, and we can step back. We never need to hop and lower our knees and take that first little mini yoga push-up, chaturanga, on knees, please. Take a baby cobra or up dog if you're feeling ready. And then we're all going to move into a downward facing dog. So in this first down dog, we take a moment to really establish our setup. So our hands are shoulder distance, have a little look. Our feet are hip distance, have a little look. And then can you spread deliberately through the fingers, through the toes, but at the same time gripping with the fingers, gripping with the toes, so that we're maintaining the integrity of the arches of the hands and the feet. Your eye gaze is between your feet or to your knees. And we're always just seeking length on our in-breath through the arms, the legs, and the spine. And on the exhalation, cultivating strength by drawing everything back to the midline. One more expansive deep breath in as we lift to our toes. On the exhalation, we bend the knees looking to the end of our mat. Before stepping or hopping, we lift and lengthen on the inhalation. Exhale to bow into our forward fold, rising and reaching all the way up to our extended mountain. Before sweeping hands down and around back to our hearts, Samastitihi. Inhale, opening the arms, pressing the palms. On the exhalation, rolling the palms to ceiling as we create extension in the spine. Inhale, maintain extension if it feels good. And on your exhalation, over you go. Bend your knees as much as you need, please. Inhale, find the lift and the length of your heart before stepping or maybe hopping the second time, traveling on knees or toes through your chaturanga. We're taking a baby cobra or an upward facing dog before we lift up again to downward facing dog. It is your right leg that's going to rise. I invite you to open the pelvis, but please keep your shoulders square as your eye gaze rests on your left big toe. So press firmly into your hands and a little bit more juice into the right hand as you send your right leg high, but only to the extent that it feels wonderful to your body. On your in-breath, we lift to the tips of our left toes. We look to the end of our mat before stepping our right foot through, pivoting the back heel, and rising to a warrior two shape. So we check the hip and the knees in one line, the knee is right above the ankle. And in the shape, if your shoulders are not happy, just rest your hands on your thighs. Finding 2 more breaths as you gaze down your middle finger now. 1 more full deep breath in and out. On your inhalation, please lengthen through your right, turn your right toes towards me, and then spin your left toes out as you prepare for Trikonasana. So we lengthen on the inhalation, and then we land the hand on the thigh, the shin, the ankle, wherever it feels good, or even a yoga block if you've got one available. Rolling the heart open, and then just notice if the shoulder is happy. If it's not, just rest it on your thigh, please. Wherever you are, honor your body, connect with your breath, and steady your eyes for 2 more breaths, please. 1 more full deep breath in. And on your exhalation, looking to your big toe, bend deeply into your left knee. And rising on the in-breath to a sun warrior, right hand supporting your back. We windmill the arms, we frame the foot at the other end of the mat, and then simply step your feet together. We're lifting the head and the heart as we breathe in, and exhale to pour ourselves into our forward fold. Rising to standing, energize the feet, the legs, the glutes, the core, before circling the hands to our hearts. Samastitihi. Inhale, pressing all boundaries, all barriers away. Rolling the heart open, ready to receive. On your inhalation, hands high, maintaining that back bend before easing our way over into a forward fold. How long can you make your arms, your legs, and your spines before stepping or hopping, transitioning on knees or toes, chaturanga? Flipping the toes or sliding to roll over the feet into our upward facing dog or baby cobra before lifting hips up and back, downward facing dog. Spread the fingers, spread the toes, find the connection first before you lift through your left leg. It doesn't need to be high. We want to focus on squaring the shoulders, energizing pelvic floor and the abdominals. And then gazing to our right big toe, taking 2 more breaths. A little bit more focus into your left hand. And on your next in-breath, lifting to the tips of your right toes, stepping between your hands, help yourself if you get stuck, and rising with control, with mindfulness, to Warrior Two, Virabhadrasana 2. So we check the hip and the knees in one line. The knee is above the ankle. And have a look at your back leg. You don't want to buckle. So we press into the outer edge, the pinky toe side, until we feel the leg lengthen. And you'll know you've gone far enough when you feel your right glute come alive. Steady your eyes on your middle finger now as you take one more full deep breath in and out. On our in-breath, we lengthen through the left leg, turn your left toes towards me, spin your right toes open, and as soon as you feel ready, you're moving into triangle pose. So the alignment in triangle is heel to heel alignment or heel to arch alignment. There's always just a little softness in this knee. We want to use the muscles to support us rather than hanging off our joints. And then with your eyes looking to the floor, to the front, and only spiraling to look to your thumb if your balance and your neck will allow. Wherever you are, it's perfect, as long as we're breathing mindfully and feeling just integrity and warmth in the body. One more full deep breath in before the exhalation turns our eyes to our right big toe, bending deeply into our right knee before rising to Sun Warrior. Left hand supports your lower back as we sink into the right knee, lifting skywards for one deep breath in before windmilling our arms, framing our foot on the out breath. Inhale to step your feet together, lifting heads, lifting hearts. Exhale to melt into your forward fold. We rise and reach and celebrate together before bringing hands home to hearts. Samastitihi. Last round. Inhale, pressing hands away. Really feel that through the palms of the hands. And then spiral the palms to the ceiling, lifting through the heart space. Inhale, hands high, maybe looking to your thumbs, before easing our way over. Head is the last piece of the spine to fold. On the in-breath, shine the light of your heart forward before you choose to step or hop, transitioning knees or toes, elbows tight, eyes forward. Roll over your toes or flip your toes one at a time, energizing the back of the body as you open the chest before lifting ourselves up to downward facing dog. Variation 1, please feel free to rest in child's pose. Variation 2, we're going to lift through our right leg again. Pelvis is open, shoulders are square, but now we're bending into our right knee, pressing the right foot towards me. And variation 3, you'll lift to the tips of your left toes. You'll pivot on that heel, ball of the foot, before flipping your dog, either reaching skywards or taking your right arm overhead. What is ever on the earth, press into it with intensity. Feel your hamstrings, your glutes, your core stabilizing, supporting you. Take one more full breath in. On your exhalation, spot your landing on your mat. Follow your eye gaze. We all meet with our right leg rising on the in-breath before lifting to the ball of the foot, stepping all the way through and rising to Warrior Two. So finding the architecture, find the shape. Please feel free to stay here. Variation 2, second round, last round, reaching, supporting ourselves. And then taking the top arm high before flipping the thumb and bringing that into the curve of your lower back. Please roll the heart open, keeping your elbow supporting you, or taking your ankle, or perhaps all the way to the floor. Now take your hips with you. So descend through the pelvis by bending into your right knee more, and then feel the outer edge of your left foot as you find this beautiful long line from the crown of the head to the pinky toe on your left foot. How deeply can you breathe as you stay for one more full deep breath in and out? On the inhalation, we rise all the way back up to our Virabhadrasana 2 before turning your toes towards me. Take one moment here with your hands to your heart, pressing all boundaries, all barriers away, knowing that there's a generosity that comes to all that is ready to receive. On the in-breath, hands come high. And on the exhalation, just draw down to the midline, please. Setting up for Trikonasana, shorten your stance if you prefer. Heel to heel alignment. Legs electric and strong. But there's that micro bend in the front knee that allows us to engage the quadriceps, the hamstrings, rather than just locking the joint. Gazing to the top thumb. And our final variation here is to take that arm overhead. So your bicep is moving towards your ear, and we're spiraling the heart towards the ceiling, lengthening through the top side of the body, but feeling the foundation of our feet, our legs, our core. Take one more full breath in, and on your exhalation, spot your landing. Lift that hand high. Listen, we're going to bend deeply into our left knee, but rather than Sun Warrior, please pop your left hand just beyond your pinky toe, and then begin to shift your weight. So this is variation 1. We can keep the toes grounded. Variation 2, you're allowed to test the waters, right, as many times as you need. And then variation 3, we're lifting into this floating half moon shape, Ardha Chandrasana. So the heart is open, the pelvis is open, and we're endeavoring to hold our eyes steady to help stabilize the entire body. If you're okay, there's 2 more breaths remaining. Stretching top leg, stretching top arm. 1 more breath before we gently begin to bring our right hand towards the end of our mat. We stabilize the pelvis and we roll the hips so that they're level to the floor. Lift through your heads, lift through your hearts, and find that connection to your top leg. Press energetically into your heel, and then 1 more little lift of the abdominal wall as we take this last deep breath in before releasing the foot, releasing our heads, releasing our hearts. We rise and shine all the way up to our extended mountain before bringing our hands safely to home, Samastitihi. Last time through your flow. So inhale, find that expansion. And then as we open through heart center, taking a baby back bend, please. Inhaling, hands high, before easing your way, cascading yourself into your forward fold. Find the lift, the length of your arms, your legs, your spine, before stepping or hopping, transitioning straight and strong on knees or toes. Roll over your toes or flip one at a time if your mat's a little sticky. And then let's lift ourselves up and back to downward facing dog. It's your left leg that's rising, but please remember option 1 is to take child's pose, to just rest and breathe. Variation 2, lifting through your top leg and then bending into your left knee. Press your left foot towards me, stamping down through your left hand a little bit more energetically. And final option, rising to the tips of your right toes, pivoting on the ball of the foot, flipping your dog, sending your left hand high or overhead, and whatever is on the earth, press into it, finding the lift, finding the openness, finding the expansiveness that 1 more deep breath will bring. And when the time is right, you'll spot your landing, you'll follow your eyes, and we'll all meet in a 3-legged dog, please. Once you're ready, stepping through, so if you get stuck halfway, don't worry, you just give yourself a helping hand, and then we rise to Warrior 2. So firm that outer edge, check your alignment first, and then steady your eyes for 1 breath. From here, we're extending, if it feels available, taking the elbow and reaching high with our right hand. Flip your palm, and it's your thumb that leads the way into a half bind. So wrapping that hand into the curve of the back, and then deliberately spiral to open your top shoulder. Option to stay here, please. Option to take your ankle. Or maybe the palm finds the floor, but we need to descend through the hips by bending a little bit more into the left knee. Feel the outer edge of your left foot, right foot, and create that long line from the crown of the head all the way to your pinky toe. For one more full, deep, glorious, heartfelt breath in and out. You're ready to rise back to your Virabhadrasana 2, your Warrior 2. Whew. The legs are feeling a little cooked, so we pause here with the hands coming to our heart. One more time to send that breath wide, palms pressing away for a little neural stretch, and then rolling into spinal extension, just gently. Inhaling the hands high before drawing everything back to the midline of the body. Trikonasana, second side. Shorten your stance if you need. Heel to heel alignment. Long legs, but never a locked right knee. Resting hands on thigh, shin, or ankle. Top arm on hip, or top arm high, or that final variation of reaching left arm all the way along the line of the body. So your bicep moves towards the ear, pinky fingers spinning down towards the earth. Come back into the awareness of your feet, the strength of the legs, the depth of your breath, the steadiness of your mind. One more full deep breath in. And then on our out breath, we're looking down. We're bringing that hand to our hip. We're bending into our right knee. And we're landing our right hand on the pinky toe side, about 20 centimeters ahead. Once you're there, this is option 1. Variation 2, you begin to just play with the idea of maybe I can lift this leg. And then you can touch the floor again. And then if it feels like you're steady, it feels safe, you're welcome to lift into that top leg, sending your top arm high as well. So the pelvis rolls open, the heart rolls open. We're flexing that top foot, pressing it, and then point it just to find a little bit more length. Your belly is strong. You're finding the breath in order to harness the mind, to harness the concentration. There's one more breath left. Make it a good one. Before gently rolling the pelvis level, grounding through both hands at the end of your mat. Level the hips, kung fu foot, pressing dynamically through your heel. And really finding lift and length through the head, through the heart, through the spine. As we take one more deep breath in. And on the exhalation, let the foot land, let the head and the shoulders completely release. Rising all the way up to extended mountain before circling the hands back to our hearts. Samastitihi. Please face me, celebrating our efforts together. And if you have a block, we are coming into Malasana. So if Malasana just doesn't feel so delightful for you, we can come part of the way into hands supporting us. Elbows could support us. Or perhaps our best option sometimes is to use a block. So I'm going to leave it up to you to make that best decision for your body today. So hands at heart, once again. Maybe we're pausing halfway. Maybe it feels accessible to come all the way down into Malasana. So your toes are slightly turned out. If you are balancing on the tips of your toes, just bring your hands down because you're working way harder than me because I can get my feet flat in this position. It's just ankle mobility. So for some of us, that just feels okay. And for others, we want the support of the block or the support of the hand. One is not better than the other. We're just finding what works for us today. So listen, as you lift through your heart space, you're encouraging your knees to your pinky toe side. And if you're sitting on a block, perfect. And if you're in this position, I want you just to see if you can reach your hands forward to Durga Mudra. So we're interlacing the fingers, and then the index fingers are pointing towards me. Take a breath in, see if this feels okay, changing your mind, even taking a seat if you prefer. And then when you're ready, you're just turning slightly, and you're moving your right knee towards the midline. So it may come all the way towards your mat. It may just come part of the way towards the mat. We're just moving through mobility work for our hip joints. So as we move through the midline, that's internal rotation. And as we open out, that's external rotation. And ideally, our hips feel free and open in this shape, but that takes time. So just really lovingly, patiently working with your body, doing this in a seated position, doing this on a block, or in your malasana. The good news is there's only one more each way. Last one in your own time. And as we return to the midline, just release your hands behind you. And if you're not already seated, please go there now. Feels so good. Finally, we are grounded. Baddha Konasana is where we're beginning. So the soles of the feet together. And variation 1, hands behind you so hearts can lift. And if you're feeling a good amount of sensation, what's a good amount of sensation? The amount of sensation that you can relax into, but enough sensation that you are not thinking about your to-do list, okay? So just a little bit of awareness, sensation, and then we're breathing into what we feel. Variation 2, we'll take a hold of the ankles, and once again, posture is primary. So we find the lift, the length of the spine, and we maintain the lift and the length of the spine as we hip hinge forward. And as we land the elbows on the thighs, the action is to press wide rather than to shove down. And most importantly, there's all of these amazing muscles in the back of your hip. There's a lot of them that work to open the pelvis, open the hip joint. So can you use the muscles in the back of your hip, in the back of your pelvis, to work in conjunction with your elbows, to work in conjunction with your breathing? There's 2 more breaths on offer, please. 1 more full deep breath with your chin lifted, with your heart lifted. And on your next inhalation, just ease your way all the way up. Release your hands behind you and take your left knee to meet your right. Tuck your feet in a little tiny bit. So one stacking in front of the other. And this is just a really gentle side bend I'd like for you to take. So you're hooking in with your right hand, your left hand on your left ankle, and then you're sending your right arm all the way up and over. So roll the rib cage open and either gaze to the earth or please come to the palm of your hand. So that anchored feeling through the hips, and then finding lightness, finding length, finding buoyancy through the top side of the body, and using the breath to really enhance what we're feeling. 1 more full, deep, deep breath in and out. On the inhalation, let's rise all the way up. Ground our hands behind us. Bring the soles of the feet together just for a moment, lifting through the heart space before bringing the knees together. Both bows, please. So we're going to just keep toes grounded for option 1. Variation 2, you'll float the feet just a little bit, but everyone's going to bring hands back to heart. So that arm position we've been working with, we'll take the arms wide on our inhalation. On our exhalation, roll the palms open, maybe lift the chin in the chest. Inhaling your hands above you. And exhale to bring the hands to the heart and kiss the floor with your toes if they're not already there. One more time, sweeping wide on the in-breath. Roll open on the out-breath. Inhaling to circle high and exhaling to draw everything back to the midline. So once you're safely grounded, just tip your knees over, tuck your heels in, set your right leg slightly in front of your left, hook in with your right hand, and then send your left arm up and over. Please gaze to the floor or to the palm of your top hand and feel this beautiful contrasting energy. The pelvis is anchored. Think gravity. And then through the top arm, think levity, think buoyancy, think lightness. So this contrasting energy between the in-breath, the prana, the out-breath, the apana, and we are in the middle of it all, using it to harness the mind, to calm the mind, to free the body. One more breath, please. Please release your eye gaze to the earth if it's not already there. Opening back up that top arm, rolling back to the midline, please. One last time in Navasana. So variation 1, the toes stay on the earth the whole time. Variation 2, we'll start with shins parallel to the ceiling, hands at the heart. Ready? So we take the arms wide on the in-breath. On the exhalation, we roll open. And maybe on this last round, we take the legs as well. Inhaling, hands high, before gently working everything back to the midline. One more time, so feet stay or shins parallel. As we roll open, we can stay as we are or extend the legs a little bit more. Inhale your hands high before gently, gently drawing them all the way down to the midline, please. Let's lay ourselves down, shall we? So gather your hamstrings, rolling your way down to your backs, and taking a celebratory hug of our knees to our chest. How are the fluctuations of the mind? Is the mind feeling a little bit more steady, a little bit more calm and tranquil? When you are ready, we're grounding into the four corners of our feet, preparing for our back bends. So checking we have hip and knee alignment, and then with your peace fingers, just touch your heels to make sure your feet are equal. And then finding connection to pelvic floor, lower belly, before we tuck the tailbone and lift into our bridging shape. I'd like for you to take just your prep pose for wheel pose. So all we're going to do is take the hands towards the ceiling as we take a breath in. And then that same shape with the hands, press the palms to the ceiling, almost like you're in a push-up position with your hands on the ceiling. And then just bend your elbows. So now the palms of the hands are going to land by your ears, and it's the thumb that is pointing towards your ears. Now the elbows will want to splay wide. We keep hugging the elbows towards our ears, pressing into the hands like you're going to lift yourselves up, but we're not going to go anywhere. And then feel again the four corners of your feet. So whatever is on the earth, four corners of the hands, four corners of the feet, pressing strongly into them so that we're strengthening the whole back body, the whole posterior chain. Your pelvic floor, mula bandha, is engaged. Your navel is drawing towards your spine. You're feeling your hamstrings working with your glutes to extend the hips, to lift the hips. One more full deep breath in and out. On your inhalation, please reach for the ceiling with your hands. And as you exhale, release your hands, release your spine, upper back, middle back, lower back, tailbone. Allow your whole body just to rest here for a moment, please. Counterbalance your back bend with a seated forward fold, please. So you'll gather your knees to your hearts first to deload your spine. You'll rock gently side to side to bring mobility back to your lower back. And then when you're ready, take a moment to rock and roll up and finding long legs, long spine, deep breath in as we move on the exhalation into Paschimottanasana. So it might feel best to bend your knees, okay? That's perfect. It's perfect. We want this to feel so therapeutic, so wonderful to our own bodies, nobody else's. So that whole quote, comparison is the thief of joy. That's one of the most beautiful things about practicing at home. There's nobody to compare ourselves to. Just you, your mat, your body, your breath. So whatever your Paschimottanasana looks like, it is exquisite. And we want to take our eyes to our big toes. And most importantly, we find the rhythm of our breath. Breathing in through the nose. Breathing out through the nose. Shoulders relaxed. Take 2 more. One more full, deep, smooth, sweet breath in and out. On our inhale, we'll lift our heads and hearts. On our exhalation, we'll ground our hands, bend our knees, and roll back down to the floor, please. Coming into a restorative inversion. So happy baby pose, ankles, knees aligning with our shoulders. Option 1, you don't need to lift the feet. This is absolutely also happy baby pose, holding the knees. Variation 2, if you're standing on the ceiling, you could just hold on to your calves. We don't have to hold the feet. If the feet feel accessible, the outside or the inside is perfect. We want to notice what's happening through our necks. So a little drawing in of the chin to lengthen the back of the neck. A deliberately softening of the shoulders away from our ears. We're pulling down and pushing back. So we're energizing the muscles so that we are strengthening as we're cultivating flexibility in our bodies. And then only if it feels really wonderful for you, you're taking a gentle, mindful rock from side to side. Ananda Balasana, so happy baby pose, blissful baby pose. 2 more breaths with movement. And then finding your stillness, please. We're going to just gently release the feet, hug the knees towards the chest. And then I would invite you to ground through your left foot and begin to send your right leg high, any amount that feels good to you. You could slide long through your left leg, but we're moving only to the extent where we're feeling a very gentle pull through the back of our right leg. And you may also be feeling a little bit of stretch through your left hip flexor as well. So the legs are really powerful still in this posture, especially through our quadriceps. The core is gently engaged to support us in this shape. But could you bring more softness, more relaxation into the back of your body? So where can you soften? And where could you let go just a little bit more? Yoga Chitta Vritti Naroda. Calming the churnings and the fluctuation of our mind through the avenue of our breath with movement. Take 1 more full breath in, and on your exhalation, bending into your right knee first, hug that towards your chest, and then please ground through your left foot. Cross your right leg over snugly. Take your arms wide if your space will allow. And then a little shift of your pelvis towards your left. And we're moving into an open twist to the right. So this is going to feel a little stronger than when the leg is reversed. And if it's too strong, we could use the block to support our knees, but we could also just release the cross of the legs. We want to focus on shoulders grounded, face soft and serene, breath smooth, full, and deep as you close down your eyes and scan your inner world. Where are you holding tension? And on these next two breaths, is it possible for you to release and relax just a little bit more? One more full breath in your own time. And when you and your body decide the time is right, you'll return your eyes and you'll use the strength of your arms and your core to safely come back to the midline. Center your pelvis, uncross your legs, and then please gather your knees in just once more. A gentle rock if the body says yes, please. And then when you are ready, right foot to the floor, left leg coming high. Don't worry about how close you can get this leg to your face. That's irrelevant. We want to focus on the length of the leg. Slide your right leg long only if it feels good. And then how electric, how strong can you make your legs through the front of the thighs? And a little bit of support through the pelvic floor, the abdominals, by drawing the navel gently towards the spine. And contrasting energy, front body is still really alive, powerful. But then we're softening into our strength through the back of the body. So finding connection through the back of the head, the length of your neck, the softness of the shoulders, and then allow your spine to really completely soften more. Just one more deep, expansive breath in and out. We slide the right leg in and we cross the left leg over. Spread your wings wide, palms to ceiling to be a little bit kinder on your shoulder joint. And then lift the hips slightly, moving them to the right. We do that to create a little bit more kindness in our sacroiliac joints as well. So as we move into rotation to the left, you might find that the block is your best friend to support your knees, or it might just feel best to get rid of that twist of the legs. So once you find your perfect option, you'll turn to look down the length of your right arm. And then how much softness can you invite into your body? This is the time to really allow the body to release, allow your body to relax, while finding the rhythm of your breath. One breath at a time. One layer of tension at a time. One more full breath before gently returning your eyes, using the strength of your abdominals and your arms to bring you home safely. Uncross your legs, and one last time, gathering your knees to your hearts. Please take a moment here to tuck the chin, lift the head, lift the shoulders, pulling the knees towards the nose towards the knees, and then let it all go. Please completely let go of all effort as we move into Shavasana. Closing down the eyes And please consciously take a body scan, moving the awareness from the crown of the head all the way down to the soles of your feet. Releasing the control of your breathing and moving into the role of observer. Steady your eyes on the back of your forehead. Listen with your inner ear to the sound of your breath and feel the aliveness of your inner world. I'd like for you to take all of your awareness to your skin. And on your next exhalation, allow your skin to grow heavy. Allow your skin to relax. And then dip beneath the surface of your skin. And you would find there all of this amazing connective tissue, fascia. On your next exhalation, could you allow all of that connective tissue, all of that fascia to soften and relax? Move a little deeper again, envisioning all of your glorious muscles, allowing us to move, to dance, to kick, to do yoga, to skip. Without them, movement is impossible. So on your next exhalation, lay some love on your muscles by allowing them to completely relax. And let's just move one more layer. Envision your skeleton, your skeletal system. Amazing. So the combination of your skeleton and your muscles gives us form and allows us to move. Your glorious bones. On your next exhalation, allow your bones to grow heavy. Maybe all that remains sensation-wise is a little activity of the mind. So please bring your awareness to your beautiful brain. And as you really pause with your awareness resting on the brain, I'd like for you to just see if you could quiet down the left hemisphere. This is our logical side, our planning side, our objective side. Can you allow that side of your brain to just quiet down? And then feel the right side, the right hemisphere, your creative side, your emotional side, the part of our brain that only sees us, the divinity in all. Just feel the right side of your brain and allow it to completely relax. Allow your whole body to completely relax. And if time will allow for you, please stay in Shavasana for as long as you possibly can. But if you, like me, need to return to your day, We will begin to reawaken by breathing more fully and deeply. I want you to take a deep breath that reinvigorates your bones. Take a deep breath that revitalizes your muscles. Take a deep breath into the fascia, the connective tissue of the body. And one more deep breath that really infuses your skin with energy. Bring movement to the body through the fingers, through the toes, through your shoulders, through your necks. And when the time is right for you, bending your knees one at a time, gathering your knees to your hearts, please hug yourselves tightly and rock your bodies very gently before rolling onto the right-hand side of the body or roll towards me, whichever you prefer. Linger here for one breath with your eyes closed and your mind calm before pressing the earth away, rising to a seated position. Eyes are still closed. We come into any position that feels comfortable to our bodies, and we begin to really deliberately lift and lengthen through our spine. Grow tall, heart light, posture beautifully established. And then please bow the chin towards the chest so that as you begin to open your eyes are resting on the tips of your fingers. Please take one more unified breath with me and close our practice with a bow. Namaste. Thank you, dear yogis.